What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Movie Dash podcast brought to you by Laoya.net, a podcast where we review movies, TV series, and round up the week with a discussion on an iron hot topic in the world of cinema. I'm Dashran Yohan, and joining me today to review Marriage Story is Samuel Lim. How are you doing, man?
Hey, it's good to be here, man.
I realized I didn't ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness.
I'll never get to really be his parent again. He needs to know that I fought for him.
It's not as simple as not being in love anymore.
Eventually, it'll be the two of you having to figure this out.
So, Marriage Story is directed by Noah Baumbach. Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think that's how you say his name, Baumbach. Yeah.
Noah Baumbach, and follows a married couple, one of whom is a stage director, which is played by Adam Driver, and an actress, which is played by Scarlett
The
Johansson.
most yuppie jobs I've ever heard, man.
Yeah. And they are currently struggling through their divorce. That's basically what this movie is about.
Yeah.
It's on a grand scheme of things, it's a very basic premise, right? It's just this one sentence.
Yeah.
But my God, is this movie awesome?
Yeah, I mean, wow.
And I don't know if we can use the word awesome with a smile on our face. You know, this is just something else, man. This is something else. So I think, okay, just give me some overall thoughts on the movie, man. Like, because I am having so many emotions run through me right now that I can't seem to really even find my words properly.
Yeah, exactly. Noah Baumbach has this uncanny ability to make seemingly mundane situations just look hellish and painful and just an utter drudgery. Not drudgery, but there's this dread that comes with it. Yeah, so the whole time when I was watching Marriage Story, it felt like I was watching Sicario because they were just amping and ratcheting up and just waiting for that boiler point moment. But instead of like sheer awe and terror, it's a different sort of terror and depression that you get from it.
Yeah, because this is just, if anyone is going, okay, the best way to watch this movie is to not know anything about it at all.
Yes.
But, I mean, since you're listening to this review, basically, I mean, this is not a happy movie.
No, it's not.
No, not at all. But what's great about it, right, is this is one of the best character studies of the year.
Yeah.
You know, what the director does really well is he puts this couple under a microscope and basically just observes their very behavior through a non-judgmental lens.
Yeah, there's no particular framing. There's very little stylization. I mean, there was one or two like quick snaps between the door scenes, which was meant to connote like the abruptness of it all. But there's a very cinema verite feel about it. Like we were just sitting there or observing the minutiae and the day-to-day lives of these two people that are slowly disintegrating before our eyes.
Yes, because disintegrating is the right word there. Because the film opens in a very beautiful, simple, but very, very beautiful manner, right? So you have two voiceovers going on. So first you hear the girl's version or the guy's version. I can't remember which one you hear first, but basically the husband and wife basically are listing down what they really, really love about their significant other. Yeah. And it's a very simple thing. It's things you probably seen with your own parents. You know, it's things that you probably do with your significant other and all that. It's very simple things, but there's just this earnestness about it, right? That makes it such a beautiful scene. So like they are talking about how, you know, like she likes that he rarely even looks in the mirror, and like how, you know, he's
how well dressed he is all the time, which is difficult for a man.
Yes, and like how he even, you know, she's a messy person, so he's the one that, you know, cooks and like cleans up the house and all that. But she has a lot of passion, and she's the spontaneous one and the exciting one. And so both of them are talking about, you know, how they're both basically in love with each other and why. And then it just transitions into this heartbreaking moment where you see both of them basically with a counselor, and what they're doing is basically the counselor has given them a project or a homework, so to speak, where they have to list down
the things they love about each other, right?
And it's just hits you that this beautiful moment just, it just transition into this moment where you realize that, okay, so this movie is about divorce.
Yeah, Baumbach.
Yeah.
You sidelined us. It's a very deceiving title, by the way.
Yeah,
like Marriage Story.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And okay, so because this movie it's not about so much about the premise, right? It's about the moments. It's about the build up. So what did you think about like the performances by Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver?
Oh wow, where do I even begin, man? Like, let's start with Scarlett Johansson, which I will say she doesn't play that sort of like, I don't know. There's this sort of thing where they do with women in romantic films where they paint them as either like heroic models of self-sacrifice, or they're just this petulant, like whiny human being that's begging for empowerment. But it was never like that.
Yeah.
She was trying. I think the best way I can describe both of them is they were individuals trying to remain reasonable until they could no longer remain reasonable.
Yes.
So Scarlett Johansson, and I saw things from Scarlett Johansson's point of view. Adam Driver's character, in first glance, is perfect. He always has to be the centerpiece of everything, but he does it in the way where it's like, I'm just doing my job, babe. I'm just trying to be the best husband and the best boyfriend I can be. But you see that smuggery just under it, and you're like, oh, I want to peel your face off sometimes. And then Scarlett Johansson just suddenly goes like, oh, it's nothing, I'm just chilling with my family. I'm having a good time with my son, I mean, I guess it's your son, but he's more my son. So then you go, and then you feel for him too.
Yes, I think that's one point you bring up that is spot on, right? Because this movie is not like what a lot of, like I say, lesser movies they tend to do is they try to say like, this is the good guy and this is the bad guy. And sometimes the movie can be good, but it becomes very black and white, right?
Yeah.
It becomes like, okay, this guy cheated on this person, so he's an asshole and that's it.
Adam Driver did cheat on somebody.
But what the movie does is like, even the cheating, not that I'm excusing it, but there is an explanation, at least from his point of view.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this movie does really well, is that you are a passive observer. Sometimes literally the way the movie is crafted, the way it's framed, is that you feel you are in the living room with these people, and it's a very, very uncomfortable position to be in, because you feel like you could be perhaps like their neighbor or their best friend
or their
something,
kid.
or their kid. Exactly. And you're just watching this couple, and the thing is, right, it's always easy when the case is always when it's black and white.
Yeah.
If let's say one is a perfect individual, the best person on earth, another one's a complete asshole, they cheat, one person cheats on the other, and so who exactly to root for.
Yeah.
But this is not, you're rooting for their marriage, but from a logical sense, because you see both of them, how both of them are flawed in their own ways, and why you understand why this marriage essentially wouldn't work. It's like, you believe, you want that because of how beautiful, like how their characters sort of bring you into their lives, and they're so charming. That's the thing, because they're
so charming.
They're flawed individuals, but the casting of Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver means you get this very charming pair.
Yeah.
And you root for them, you root for their marriage because it's so relatable. You even if you don't know like what divorce feels like from personal experience, or whether your parents went through it or not, but this movie will make you feel it. Right? And that's what's beautiful, right? And also, this movie, I feel it's all about the restraint, wouldn't you say?
Yes, exactly. Because it's such a tight balancing act where if you dip too much into the hammy end of things, you will feel like, okay, this film is just dipping into melodrama and it's just becoming schlock now. But if it's too restrained, suddenly there's an explosion, there's very little setup, and a big payoff, people go, okay, I failed to like connect
The
these
dots,
two elements together, and this payoff feels like arbitrary.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it feels organic. It feels like these petty tit for tats are what Noah Baumbach is just known for. He knows how to get those little petty tit for tats and make them just escalate. I think he's the
Yes.
master of escalation.
He is. Pillow, and it's just such a superbly crafted scene.
I love this movie so much because for the last few years, especially with shows like Twilight, with films like Twilight, and with all sorts of YA dribble that are just coming out, you know, you have your Paper Towns, The Fault in Our Stars. I feel like our generation epitomizes what psychologist Ernest Becker's called apocalyptic romance, in which we removed like God, and like it's not post-apocalyptic romances, that's what you're thinking. Like we remove God and institutions and different like modern like linchpins like our culture, our national identity. These things are gone. So what do people look for? We look for partners to fill the void now, and it is our world, it is our existential anchor, and this film just comes in and just smashes it and go, you can't have that too. You
Yes.
can't have anything.
Because this movie, just like quick final thoughts, what this movie does is it constantly makes you wrestle with yourself. Your emotion and your logic is at constant odds with each other.
Right.
And what the end of the movie and what you feel like at the end is that your emotion and logic comes to sort of a compromise and an understanding. It's not ideal, but this is real. What Marriage Story is about is one of the best, to me, it's the best romance film since Blue Valentine.
Romance.
Yeah.
There's nothing romantic about this.
But it is, I mean, the thing is, it's just like Blue Valentine, right?
Yeah.
It's not romance in the most typical of manners.
It's not a traditional.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not
but
traditionally
it
romantic.
is about love. It is about whether you want to call it deconstruction, whether you want to call it a dissection. It puts love and it sort of analyzes it in a very realistic setting, you know, and it's done in a very, very super way. So, I mean, that's basically our thoughts on Marriage Story. Both of us are clearly still, you know, we can't even process our emotions properly because this movie just broke me. Those are our thoughts. Now it's time for your take. Let us know what you think by hitting us up at The Movie Dash on Twitter. If you like our podcast, be sure to subscribe to Movie Dash on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. There's also the video version, but today we'll be doing an only audio version, but we'll still be uploaded on YouTube. And if you'd like to follow us both on social media, you can follow me at Dash Talks Movies on Twitter and Instagram, and follow Samuel at
Instagram, Sam Lim Lego.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.